What's up everyone, welcome back, and as you can see, I'm actually finally in my new studio space, my little wAFFwORLD room. It's totally a mess still, like look, there's shit everywhere. I've still got loads of boxes and bags to unpack and stuff to put in storage and obviously decorate the room, which will come in time, but at least I'm in a space now where I can actually continue doing my YouTube videos, so yeah, I'm buzzing about that. But anyway, let's get to the point of this video, which is Deadpool and Wolverine. So I finally got to go see it last night. It was a bit frustrating because I really wanted to go see it last week, but I was away, so I just didn't have time. And I was really worried that I was going to get something spoiled because I just heard all the rumors that there is just so many different cameos and things to be spoiled that I was really nervous that I was going to have something ruined for me. Somehow, I'm on YouTube all the time. I'm on Instagram all the time. I'm on social media all the time. Everything gets spoiled for me. It's so annoying. Somehow, I didn't see any spoilers for this at all. So everything that I seen was like a totally like shock value and fan service and excitement. And I loved all of it. It was just such an enjoyable experience. So I'm going to try and keep this non-spoilers for the most part, and I might go into spoilers towards the end. I just really don't want anything getting spoiled for this movie, because if you are a fan of Deadpool and Wolverine and anything else that's in this movie, which you will be if you're into comic book movies, this film is filled with loads of shit that you're gonna be happy and excited about, especially some stuff I was like, no way have they just revealed that person or done this. And yeah, I will go into that at some point, but yeah, this is going to be no spoilers. You really need to go and see this movie. If you're into MCU, a Marvel, a Deadpool, Wolverine, or whatever, you have to go see this film, and I don't want anyone to get spoiled. So anyway, let's get into the review. So first of all, what I will say is this film is so entertaining. I had an absolute blast all the way through it. It is just a really good, fun film. And I would say it's probably the best Marvel film I've seen in a while. I don't remember the last film I've seen that I enjoyed from Marvel like this. Yeah, I don't think there's been any at all recent. Well, for a while anyway. I can't even remember the last one. Maybe Spider-Man No Way Home. That might have been the last good one. Yeah, probably was. But anyway, this film was just so enjoyable. I loved it. Ryan Reynolds back as Deadpool he's just born to play this part. He's just so good at playing Deadpool. I absolutely love his character and how he plays him. Again, this is just more of the same stuff that we had in the previous films. If you like the Deadpool movies and you know what to expect, then you basically just get more of that, but on a way bigger budget and almost like in overdrive. Like Ryan Reynolds is just in his A game here. He's killing it in this film. He was hilarious. Like, I loved it. I thought he was so funny, as he always is, but I definitely found that I found a lot of the jokes in this film a lot more funnier than I have in the previous films. Now, the previous films do have some really funny moments. I love the Deadpool movies, but a lot of the jokes, and it also was the same in this film for me. This is my one problem that I have with the Deadpool movies. I love the character. I love his fighting style and how stupid he is, and he's just so good at everything, but he's also such an idiot. He's never serious. He's always taking the piss. And I love that about him, but sometimes it's just a bit too much. Like, the comedy's a bit too much. Like, it never ends. And that's the one issue that I've always felt with Deadpool films, is that the comedy sort of like goes on a bit too much, and sometimes I wish that moments were a little bit more serious at times, and a lot of the fourth wall breaking sort of situations that are going on in these movies, it sometimes gets a bit too much. And I would say this film still is exactly the same as that, if not more, but the jokes landed better in this film than I remember, definitely in the previous film. But I would say that I enjoyed the jokes more in this film. So even though some of it was a little bit annoying, I also could easily look past it because of just how enjoyable the film was as a whole. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, absolutely class. Like, seeing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine was once again he's just the best. Like, he is just the best. And there's a lot of moments in this film where they point out that he is the best and that he is the only Wolverine, that he is the best Wolverine. He just does an amazing performance. He's just so good. He has a few moments in this film where he has like a monologue, a really serious moment, and the camera's just on him for a moment, and he's like saying this monologue, and this anger's coming out, and you feel bad for him, but you also like you can see this like frustration in his character and the mistakes that he's made. He's just such a good actor at portraying these emotions through Wolverine. It was just so good to see Wolverine back, and obviously Hugh Jackman playing him. It's just the best combination, I felt, having Deadpool and Wolverine. The total polar opposites. You got Deadpool, who's just been an idiot all the way through it, and Wolverine, who's just constantly like serious. But he also has some really funny comedic moments, which are done in a different way because he's just angry, but he says funny things in a certain way, and he stays in character with Wolverine. He doesn't start becoming stupid and goofy. It's still like serious, but he has some really funny one-liners, and yeah, I really liked how they did that with Hugh Jackman and Logan. It was just so well done. Obviously, there was the question of like, how are they going to bring back Logan, and what are they going to do? Are they going to ruin what happened at the end of Logan, the movie Logan? Now, again, without spoiling anything, but the opening sequence of this film is it's just class. I loved it. It was so stupid. Just what Deadpool says right at the beginning about not destroying Logan's legacy. He has this little moment about that whole situation, about not trying to destroy it, and then loads of stuff happens that's just so stupid. It's so stupid, but I think it's such a good way to open up the film. And I'll go into that in the spoiler section. But yeah, a really great opening to the film. All the way through the film, I was just fully enjoying everything. Again, just endless cameos right from the beginning. All the way through the film, there's just constant cameos, and they're really big cameos. Like, it's not just like someone who's like, oh, right, I remember him. It's like, no, like these cameos are massive, especially some of them. And for those of you that have seen the film, you'll know exactly which one I'm on about. Yeah, I can't even say anything yet. The film takes place in present day in Marvel, which was a thing that I was kind of trying to figure out before going into it, was like, what are they going to do? Is there going to be some sort of time travel thing to sort of bring back Wolverine? Like how? Because obviously he died in Logan. How are they going to bring him back? But then we seen in the trailers that the TVA is a huge part of this. I instantly knew that there was going to be some sort of timeline swapping variant thing going on, and that is pretty much like how the film gets away with doing all the stuff that they do. It's heavily based on this timeline, the sacred timeline, and obviously all the different timelines within the TVA, and obviously all the different variants that are in all these different timelines. So it's actually a really good thing for this film in particular that they could use that and utilize the whole TVA situation. I'm not necessarily a big fan of it as a whole, because I'm not 100% sure I like the idea that they can just bring back anyone and that they can be different variants of themselves, playing different roles and different characters. Like now we've just got Robert Downey Jr. announced to play Doctor Doom, and now it's like kind of known that it's still going to be Tony Stark who is Doctor Doom, because in the comics there is a version. I haven't read the comics, I've only read up on this, so excuse me if my knowledge isn't perfectioned. But basically, Tony Stark in the comments, in a variant situation on another timeline, he becomes Doctor Doom. So Tony Stark becomes Doctor Doom instead of Iron Man. That's pretty much what they're doing, it seems, now with the next Avengers film, and obviously him playing Doctor Doom. I'm not 100% sold on that idea. I don't know if I like it. I love the fact he's coming back, but yeah, I mean, that's a video for another time, but my point is, I don't know if I like the idea that they can now just do this with any character. So anyone who's died, like Tony Stark, you can just bring him back and he's back again as another Tony Stark, or as Doctor Doom as another person. I don't know how I feel about that. But this film in particular utilizes all that whole thing very well, and if they didn't use it, then this film wouldn't work. And because of that, it makes the film really enjoyable, because it's so fun and so stupid and so daft, and some of the cameos that they bring in and the characters that they bring back and all this stuff, it's like, it's so good to see it. But what they do with them is like hilarious, because it's almost like they're disposable. They don't really need to take care of certain characters so much, because it's like, well, they're just a variant, so who cares if they die, or who cares if we make them look stupid, or we make the actor portray this character in a ridiculous way, because they're just going to be not used properly again. It's just for this film, so you can kind of get away with it, which I enjoyed for this, but that's my issue. I don't know if I like it as a whole, because then it kind of it lessens the effect of seeing someone come back, if you know what I mean. But that wasn't a negative on this film. The film is a positive with all that. It is a positive on the film, and I'm so glad that they used it to the extent that they did, because some of it is just so ridiculous. The action scenes in this film are absolutely badass. Like the fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine, and everything else, every other fight scene I loved it. I thought that they were absolutely class, like really good. There was some amazing fight scenes with Deadpool and Wolverine. One in particular in a car. I loved that. It was just really good. There's one towards the end where it's kind of like shot like Old Boy. The camera's just still and it just pans all the way down the street through a bus, and there's this massive fight scene going on. That was just really enjoyable. There's a few more fight scenes between Deadpool and Wolverine, and then there's also other fight scenes between different characters. Yeah, there's quite a lot of action in this film, and it's really well done. They have really stupid music playing, like the opening's got Backstreet Boys, Bye Bye, and Deadpool's just dancing his tits off whilst like beating the shit out of everyone. The music selection in this film was actually really good. It's kind of one of them weird territories where the song comes on and it feels like, oh, this feels a bit weird hearing this music for this moment, but then it actually works. And yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job with the music, and it's really stupid. Like the song choices are just ridiculous. As we've seen in the trailers, there is the villain in this, who is the bald woman who is Professor X's twin sister. She is pretty powerful. Like she's actually really powerful. She's a really cool character. She says something hilarious at one point. She says something absolutely hilarious. Me and my friend, my housemate, who I went to see it with, were laughing our heads off. Like some of the one-liners that these characters have are great. But she's super powerful. And obviously I don't want to go into spoilers just yet, but you know, stuff happens with her that I kind of wish didn't. But yeah, her powers and what she can do is crazy. Like the gore in this and the violence, I was really surprised by, because it's Disney. I know it's R-rated, but I thought they would tone it down a bit. Not at all. Like this film is completely all out, like gore and just body parts getting chopped up, heads getting caved in, skin getting ripped off. Like there's everything going on. It's gruesome, like really gruesome and gory. Constantly swearing, constant digs at Fox, constant digs at Disney, constant digs at everything. Like Ryan Reynolds is just going in on everything he can in this film, and I was really surprised that it was actually greenlit to be allowed to go this far. The only one thing that supposedly Ryan Reynolds kept saying as Deadpool in the film is that they weren't allowed to do cocaine. That's the one rule that Kevin Feige wouldn't allow them to have, is no cocaine. So there's some funny jokes about that. But yeah, I was really surprised by how much they were allowed to actually do and show, and it just shows like how much money this film's made already. That like I think Marvel need to start to be a little bit more relaxed and comfortable with having some of this. Like obviously it's going to be difficult to see how they're going to implement Deadpool into Marvel, the other Marvel movies. Like if he was in Avengers, which there is a little bit of a teaser maybe, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there might be some sort of thing happening at some point with Deadpool in Avengers at some point. It's not really even shown. It's just like a little hint that there might be something. So I would love to see Deadpool included in more films. He's great. He just adds... He is the character that can create that comedy that films feel like they need to add. A lot of these Marvel films feel like they have to go really funny, like Thor Ragnarok. Not Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder. It was just too stupid and it wasn't even funny. Where this is actually funny, and it's because the character Deadpool, we know that he is that character to be funny, so we accept it and it feels better than like suddenly Thor becoming an absolute jokester or whoever else. So I think they need to include Deadpool into future movies. I really hope he comes back and into the Avengers and Secret Wars and all the other ones that they're doing. That would be great, but I don't know how they're going to do it because of all the gore and the swearing and the violence that's associated with Deadpool. Don't know how they're going to be able to fit that into the Marvel films. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting way to look, interesting thing to see when it happens. But up to that point, I can't imagine how they're going to do it. Also, same thing goes with Blade. That's going to be R-rated. So I've heard, and it fucking better be. It better be R-rated. It has to be. If Deadpool can do it, then Blade has to be it. But again, that's gonna become a little bit confusing at some point. But saying that, I can definitely see a Blade and Deadpool movie at some point. That would be sick. But anyway, so just to go into just a little bit more of what my negatives are about the film. The only negative that I had about this film is that the jokes are just so relentless. It's so non-stop, and even though, like I said, a lot of them landed for me and a lot of them worked, and even the ones that didn't work I still could find funny in a way, but a lot of, again, there's so much of it that quite a lot of it didn't work for me. So, and because Ryan Reynolds is constantly, well, Deadpool is constantly joking about whatever situation it is, and then within that joke he's always looking at the camera and breaking the fourth wall and then referencing something in our real world in the film, and like he will also call some of the characters and cameos by their real actor's name, not the character's name. And it was funny, but it's one of them like grey areas that make me feel a bit like uncanny valley is the word. I don't know how to feel about it. It takes me out for a moment. And it stops me from feeling like I'm watching a film in the MCU, and suddenly I feel like I'm watching Ryan Reynolds play a character on set, and you're like, oh, it's just a bit weird, and I don't know if I'm fully 100% there with that. Even though I like it to a point, I think it's just because it's so relentless. It literally doesn't stop all the way through the film. They have some really cool, serious moments. Ryan Reynolds is such a good actor to be able to portray the emotion when he is sad and when he's serious. But as soon as he's sad, a second later, he just looks at the camera and says something stupid. So you don't really get a serious moment for too long. But there is some there, and they are really well done and well acted, and it's really good. And like I said, it's a very minute thing. It's just a thing that I don't know if I'm fully 100% into, but the film was that good, and the humor and the jokiness is still really funny at the most of the time. So I can look past it, and that's basically my only negative in the film. The rest of it was absolutely class. So for me, as you can tell, I absolutely love this film. You need to go out and see it if you're a Marvel fan, if you're a Deadpool fan, especially if you're a Logan fan, Wolverine fan. You're gonna love this. There is massive fan service for Wolverine. Some of the stuff that's in this, some of the moves, the way that he fights, this costume. There's so much here to enjoy. If you're a fan, you're gonna love it. So go out and see it. Try not get spoiled. Try and get your tickets ASAP, because you will get spoiled. Definitely, I've started seeing more and more come up over the past day, and I'm like, okay, good job I seen it when I did. But for me, if I was to give this film a rating, I would give it a 9 out of 10. I was kind of torn between an 8 or a 9, but I would say like I'm like an 8.5, but I don't do points on here. So I want to give it a 9 because it was really, really good. It's the best Marvel film we've had in a while. Really good fan service. Great to see Wolverine and Deadpool together, and both played by, obviously, well, Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, but to see Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine was just class. And all the other cameos, especially one of them, definitely gets an extra point. So yeah, 9 out of 10. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review. Please let me know down in the comments, have you seen the film yet? Try not to spoil anything. If you can, wait for my spoiler review to be posted, and then you can do your comments below on the things you enjoyed with the spoilers, and we can talk about it there. But let me know in the comments, like, are you looking forward to this? Have you seen it yet? Love to know what you think. And if you enjoyed the video, please drop me a like. And also, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next one.